Hello everyone. We are going to study the role of engineering in economic development. So, before discussing the role of engineering in economic development, it is very important to know what is the meaning of engineering. What is the real definition of engineering? I mean to say, what is the perspective of engineering? So, first of all, I want to discuss with you what is engineering. Engineering deals with design, building, and maintenance of machines, devices, and structures. It involves the application of scientific knowledge for the betterment of quality of life as economically as possible. Engineering is the application of science to the need of humanities. This is accomplished through knowledge, mathematics, and practical experience applied to the design of useful object or processes. Professional practitioners of engineering are called engineers. It can be defined as the art of managing engines. In its modern and extended sense, the art and science by which the mechanical properties of matter are made useful to man in structures and machines. The occupation and work of an engineer. Engineering further is an application of science and technology with goal-oriented process of designing and making tools and systems to exploit natural phenomena for facilitating human endeavors. I mean to say, engineering involves the application of scientific knowledge for the betterment of quality of life as economically as possible. So we can say that engineering the profession in which a knowledge of the mathematical and natural sciences gained by study, experience and practice is applied with judgment to develop ways to utilize economically the materials and forces of nature for the benefit of mankind. So, now I want to discuss what is the purpose of an engineer and how can we differ the purpose of an engineer to the purpose of a scientist. Because the purpose of a scientist is to add to mankind knowledge and discover universal laws. But the purpose of an engineer is to apply this knowledge to particular situation to produce products and services economically or cost effectively. Because cost factor or economy is the main consideration for an engineer. Okay? Cost factor or economy is the main consideration for an engineer. For example, a scientist may produce a material which has very good conductivity, better than the material already existing or being used. However, it is for an engineer to see whether it would be economical to use such a material for constructing electric wires or not. Hence, the copper has better conductivity. We are still using aluminum wires for conduction of electricity. Therefore, cost factor or economy is the main consideration for an engineer. The problem may be again sent to a scientist to invent a cheaper material with better conductivity. I mean to say the decision for compromise between the cost along with other factors remaining with an engineer. Okay, so in my next slide, I want to discuss role of engineering in economic development. So, role of engineering in economic development, this is the main topic. So, after discussing what is engineering and what is the perspective of engineering and the purpose of an engineer is differ from the purpose of a scientist. Now I want to discuss role of engineering in economic development. Engineering plays an important role in economic development by helping mechanization of production process, and second one is development of infrastructure. I mean to say, I'm going to discuss the role of engineering in economic development through these two main points. First point, mechanization of production process, and second one, this is also important, development of infrastructure. So by helping these two main points, I want to describe role of engineering in economic development. Okay. So I want to explain what is the role of role of engineering in economic development with the help of mechanization of production process. So first question is, what is mechanization? Mechanization means that various operations required for various stages of production are done with the help of machines instead of manual labor. Engineering makes it possible to construct such machines for different sectors involved in production. Today, most of the industrial production is dependent on the use of machines. Engineering makes it possible to construct such machines for different sectors involved in production. Okay, so if any industry we are using machine instead of manual labor, we can produce large number of product or services. I mean to say, we can produce lot of products and services if you want, because with the help of machines we can save the time and labor also. Okay, so I want to discuss what is the benefit of mechanization. So there are large number of benefits of mechanization, because the introduction of machine production results in large scale manufacturing. Large scale manufacturing and save time and labor. And you know, the per unit production cost is also reduced. Many complicated and complex operations are possible only with the help of machines. I mean to say, if any industry we are using machines, we can solve lot of problems at the same time, because sometimes of projects, sometimes many complicated and complex operations are possible only with the help of machines. You know, I mean to say, thus mechanization leads to economic development by increasing productive capacity of the economy. Okay, now I am going to describe second point, development of infrastructure. So I want to explain what is infrastructure, because engineering is extensively used in the construction of various means of infrastructure. Various means of infrastructure like means of transport, means of energy and means of communication. I am discussing three types of means because my topic is development of infrastructure. So it is very important to know what is infrastructure. So I want to tell you means of transport, means of energy and means of communication. Engineering knowledge is required for construction of roads, bridges, railways, etc. And you know, the power stations are installed by engineer. Engineering is required to build up a ship or an aeroplane and various means of communication like telephone, etc. Application of engineering has made it possible to construct various components of infrastructure efficiently, economically and rapidly. Good infrastructure raises productivity and lower production cost. You know, if any country having good infrastructure, so raises productivity and lower production cost. Okay, I mean to say infrastructure should not only be developed rapidly and adequately, but also its development should precede the development of all other sectors. I mean to say World Bank has concluded that there is a direct and proportional relation between infrastructure and production. As a result of 1% increase in infrastructure, there is 1% increase in production. Okay, I want to discuss one more example with you. Like there are numerous examples of engineering system that have physical design but little economic worth. It may simply be too expensive. Consider a proposal to purify all of the water used by a large city by boiling it and collecting it again through condensation. This type of experiment is done in junior physical science labs every day, but at the scale required by a large city is simply too costly. So, I want to explain this concept because mechanization of production process and development of infrastructure help in developing the structure and designing and building lot of machines and structures. So I want to say that there are numerous examples of engineering system that have physical design but little economic worth. Okay, hence we can conclude that by creating machines and constructing various components of infrastructure, engineering stimulates the process of economic development. Okay, so development of infrastructure is a very necessary point if any country want to develop their economy. So it is very important how can we develop the means of transport, means of energy and means of communication. Application of engineering has made it possible to construct various components of infrastructure efficiently, economically and rapidly. Good infrastructure raises productivity and lower production cost. And per unit cost reduction is a very important point because if any company reduce per unit cost, so we can make a huge amount of profit. We can generate a large amount of profit. So lastly, I want to say that the application of scientific and mathematical principles to practical ends such as the design, manufacture and operation of efficient and economical structures, machines and processes and system, the profession of or the work performed by an engineer. Hence, we can conclude that by creating machines and constructing various components of infrastructure like transport, communication and energy, engineering stimulates the process of economic development. Okay, thank you all.